You know you need an emergency fund. Everybody knows they need one. Financial advice has been saying the same thing for 30 years. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses. Stay prepared. Build the cushion. And yet, the median emergency savings balance for Americans is $500. Not $5,000. Not $19,000. $500. That's from a June 2025 Empower survey of American adults across all income levels. Today I'm going to show you why the standard advice fails, what actually breaks the cycle for middle-class earners specifically, and the single first move that works even when your monthly surplus is almost nothing. There's a number I'm going to give you before this video ends that changes how you approach this entirely. It's not the 3-month target. It's a much smaller number, and it's the one that actually matters first. Stay with me. First, why the math of emergency savings is worse than most people realize. According to the Federal Reserve's 2024 SHED report, 55% of adults have rainy day savings to cover 3 months of expenses. That sounds almost acceptable until you look at middle-income households specifically. Around 56% of households earning $50,000 to $99,000 have set aside a 3-month emergency fund, which means nearly half of the people in the income range this channel talks about don't. And among those who do have savings, only 47% of Americans can cover a $1,000 emergency expense, according to Bankrate's December 2025 survey. More than half of Americans cannot write a $1,000 check from savings without borrowing money or charging a card. Why the 3 to 6 month rule breaks most middle-class earners? Here's the actual math of the standard advice. Based on the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics data, the average American household spends roughly $6,600 a month in 2025. A 3-month emergency fund at that rate is approximately $19,800. That is the target. $19,800. Now here's what that target looks like to a middle-class earner at $65,000 who has $200 in monthly surplus after fixed costs. At $200 a month, you reach $19,800 in approximately 8 years and 3 months. That is not a savings plan. That is a lottery ticket with worse odds. The problem isn't the $19,800 target. That number is mathematically correct for long-term security. The problem is starting with a $19,800 target when you have $0 and $200 in monthly margin. The goal is so far away that most people give up before they reach $1,000. Or worse, they build it slowly and then a real emergency wipes it out, and the psychological reset of watching it go to zero stops them from starting again. I want to be honest about something here. 58% of Americans say saving for emergencies feels almost impossible with how expensive everything is right now. That's not a motivation problem. That's a math problem. The number that actually works first. $1,000. Not 3 months. Not 6 months. $1,000 in a separate account that you do not touch under any circumstances except a genuine emergency. Here's why that number specifically. According to Empower's 2025 survey, the top 3 unplanned financial events Americans faced in the past year were car repairs 26%, medical bills 24%, and home repairs 19%. Car repair averages $400 to $1,200 for most common mechanical failures. An urgent care visit plus prescription runs $280 to $900 depending on what's wrong. A plumber, an electrician, a broken appliance, $300 to $1,500. $1,000 covers most of these. Not all of them, but most of them. Enough to handle the emergency without reaching for a credit card and triggering a monthly payment that tightens your budget for the next 12 months. The $1,000 wall does one thing. It stops life events from becoming debt. And for a middle-class earner living close to the margin, stopping the debt creation cycle is the most financially valuable thing you can do before anything else. Quick check-in. Where are you right now? Drop your current emergency savings in the comments. Not judging, just a real number. $0, $200, $1,500, whatever it is. I want to see what people are actually working with. I want to stop here because I know what some of you are thinking. Dave Ramsey says the same thing. Baby step one is $1,000. You're right, he does. And on this specific point, the sequencing, the baby steps framework is actually correct. You shouldn't be saving $1,000 while ignoring high-interest debt, but you absolutely should hit $1,000 before you try to tackle the 3-month goal. Where I'd push back on the standard advice, including Ramsey's, is on what comes after $1,000. Most frameworks tell you to knock out all debt first, then build to 3 months. For middle-class earners carrying student loans or modest car loans at reasonable rates, that sequence can mean waiting years before you have meaningful liquid savings. A middle path, build $1,000, then simultaneously chip at debt and continue building savings past $1,000, protects you better in the real world where emergencies don't wait for you to be debt-free. So you've got the target. $1,000 first. The question is how? Because if there's genuinely $200 in monthly surplus, getting to $1,000 takes 5 months. That's assuming nothing unexpected happens first. Here's how you get there faster than that. 3 ways to build $1,000 that actually work on a tight budget. 1. Automate a specific dollar amount the day after payday. Not a percentage, a dollar amount. $30, $50, $75, whatever number your honest budget allows. Set it to transfer automatically to a separate savings account the day after your paycheck deposits. When you transfer a percentage or try to save what's left, there's never anything left. When you automate a specific dollar amount, it disappears from your checking account before your brain registers it as available. 2. Treat one-time windfalls as emergency fund deposits. Tax refund. Work bonus. A freelance gig. Birthday money. Anything that wasn't in your monthly budget gets deposited directly to emergency savings before it touches your checking account. The average federal tax refund in 2024 was approximately $3,100. One refund gets you to the $1,000 target 3 times over. 3. Sell something this month. As covered in Week 1, the fastest path to a specific dollar amount with no ongoing time commitment is selling what you already own. Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Poshmark. One focused weekend of listing can generate $300 to $600. That's a third of your $1,000 target in one weekend. I want to be honest with you about something the financial advice world doesn't say enough. The 3 to 6 months target that has become the universal standard for emergency savings, the research basis for that specific range is weaker than its confidence suggests. It's a convention that has been repeated long enough to become accepted wisdom. Some financial economists argue that for most households, 1-2 months of liquid savings combined with reasonable credit access covers the actual statistical distribution of real emergencies adequately. Others argue it should be 9-12 months given today's job market volatility and how long it now takes to find comparable employment after a layoff. The honest answer is that no one has definitively solved the ideal number for every situation. What the data does agree on, having something, even $500, even $1,000, measurably reduces financial stress, reduces credit card debt accumulation, and stabilizes household finances more than having nothing. Start with $1,000. Move toward $5,000 over the next 2 years. The exact right answer can be calibrated from there. Here's the number I held back. 29% of Americans currently have more credit card debt than emergency savings. Read that again. More than 1 in 4 Americans owes more on their credit card than they have in savings. That is the direct result of zero buffer living. Every emergency went on the card. The card balance grew. The minimum payment reduced the monthly margin, which made the next emergency hit harder, which went on the card. The $1,000 emergency fund is not the solution to that cycle, but it's the thing that stops the cycle from getting worse while you work on the solution. Here's what the $1,000 does that no other financial move does at this stage. It changes how emergencies feel. Right now, if your car breaks down, it's a crisis. With $1,000 sitting in a separate account, that same car repair is an inconvenience. Same dollar amount. Completely different experience. Completely different financial outcome. That shift from crisis to inconvenience is the foundation everything else gets built on. Your one move this week? Open a separate savings account if you don't have one. Not a sub-account attached to your checking. A different account, preferably a high-yield savings account. Interest rates on those are running 4 to 5% right now. Name it emergency only. Set up one automatic transfer for whatever amount your budget genuinely allows. Even $30. The account existing is the first step. The automation is the second. After that, it just grows. Next week, we're talking about how to ask for a raise when you're not in tech, because salary negotiation content almost exclusively targets software engineers and finance professionals. If you work in healthcare, retail management, education, logistics, or any other regular field, that advice doesn't fit your situation. We're going to fix that. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And drop your current emergency savings number in the comments. I actually read them.